Welcome to Code Jargon. Today we are going to look at exception in C++. You know, anytime you write a code, there's a chance of having an error in our project. So that's what we did in our last video. What if there's a way of preventing our project from running into runtime error? Okay, so we can handle it and then display a custom message to the user. For example, if the user is being asked to enter an integer or a positive integer and then the person decided to enter negative or a string or a different data type instead of what we've asked her to do. In that instance, you should be able to display a message to the user that please enter a valid positive integer number here. Okay, so that's what we are going to look at. So let's get started. For us to handle those errors in our project, then we are going to use try, catch, and also the throw keywords in C++. Okay, so the try is a block of code, okay, or the try accept a block of code that will check if there's an error or not, and if that's an error, then we use throw to send the error message, and then we use the catch to handle it. Okay, so now let's have something like this. We have the catch which accept the block of codes here, so we can go ahead and then, for example, let's declare let's say user input here as integer. Then anytime try is being used, then catch must be added to it because the two move together. So now, because we are dealing with an integer data type here, then we can go ahead and then pass our exception to the integer here. So we can have our exception here. Now, because there's no code here that we are going to validate, that's the reason why this one has been faded. Okay, so now let's continue. We are going to ask our user to enter a positive integer. So let's display a message to the user, enter a positive integer. Okay, then we can go ahead and then receive the user input here. Okay, so now what we are going to do is we are going to handle the error message here. So we are going to check whether what the person entered here is less than, it's not less than or equal to. Okay, so now if the user input here is less than 0 or equal to 0, then it means that the user didn't enter the positive integer that we were expecting. Then we can throw an exception here. Okay, so let's throw user input. No, let's throw, let's say 0. Okay, so with this we can show our custom error message here. Please enter a valid positive integer. Okay, so now let's go ahead and then execute our code. Okay, so let's enter 5. Yes, nothing happened. So let's run our code again, and then enter maybe B or any number. Then we've now displayed please enter a valid positive integer here. Okay, so instead of um, allowing our project to run into a runtime error, we've been able to use the try, true, and then catch to handle it. Okay, so now what we are going to look at is where we don't want to provide a static message. Okay, but we rather want to provide the message from where the error happened. Okay, so now we can go ahead and then pass our message here. Okay, and then we can display our exception here. So for us to use, this one is a string. Okay, so for us to use a string, then we can call our char here, that's a character or char, and then we pass our exception. Okay, so now let's go ahead and then execute our code. And then let's type f constant. Oh, sorry. So we can go ahead and then add our constants to, sorry about that. Okay, so now let's execute our code again, making sure that we won't run into any error again. So D, and there we go. So we can also continue writing our code here. Let's say you have entered user inputs here. So when the user enter the right inputs, then we are going to display you've entered this. Okay, so let's continue. Yes, so when the user entered the positive integer, then we are going to display a successful message here. Okay, so now what I want us to look at is we can't always guess the kind of exception that's going to happen. Okay, so because this one, we are aware that this one is an integer. This one is a string. That's the reason why we pass this. And if it was supposed to be an integer, we can still handle it in the other way around. So what we are going to do is we are going to still maintain this, okay, and we can still go ahead and then add more exception, or we can throw more exception in our project. So that's when we can add our general exception handler to it. So that one, we call it the catch. So we can have as many as catches you want here. Then we provide 3 dots. So this one is more like a final. Once there's an error here, there's an error detected, and we are trying to pass the error to the catch, then the compiler will check, okay, is there any catch here that can handle it? No, because for example, this one is an integer. Okay, so this one is an integer. Definitely, this one can't handle it. Then we can go ahead and then display a general message and say unexpected error occurred. Okay, so let's go and then execute our code. Okay, so let's type let's type D. It says please enter a valid integer, because with this catch is handling it. Okay, so now let's type a positive, and then because if we've passed this one, then we can go ahead and then throw the exception here. So let's enter 8, and it says unexpected error occurs here because it's checked this one. No, this one is for only string. Okay, then to rather move to the last one, that's the general exception. Okay, so that's the general exception handler. So this one plays an important role when you are writing your code. For example, you can ask our user to maybe provide an index for an array. So we can give them maybe array data set, and then we ask them to pick a number from the array. And the user can choose a number beyond what, like the user can choose an index that's not part of the array data list. So for example, if the array has 5 data, definitely the last index should be 4. Okay, so it should be 4, but the user can enter 10. That one, you need to handle it. You need to throw an exception telling the person that this is the situation. Instead of allowing our code to run into runtime error, and then we are going to have array out of band. Okay, so we can display a custom message, tell the person that your number should be between 0 to the length of the array size minus 1. Okay, so that's how we can use exceptions in C++. In case you have any question, you can leave it at the comment section. And if you've not subscribed to our channel, please kindly subscribe to our channel. See you in our next video. Bye bye.